weather here because we already have some light rain falling in portions of Mason County. Again, the further you get from the radar, sometimes the harder it is to see some of that light rain, but we know this is only the beginning. There is much more to come. If I zoom you out, you'll notice the bulk of the precipitation still to the west, but that's an impressive precipitation shield of snow, of freezing rain, sleet, and cold rain. That's going to continue to work its way towards the east. You'll even notice we had a little bit of some thunder sleet in parts of the big country earlier this morning. Temperatures largely in the 30s across central Texas here, but 30s and 30s above freezing. That's very, very important. Yes, there will be pockets colder than this in what I'm showing you at a reporting site, but I'm at least encouraged to see most of us above that 32. That's really going to help us out and keep our forecast on track for most of this being cold rain. A high of 38. And I just showed you the current temperatures. We're not going to move much with those numbers. We stay right at about 38, 39 all day long. Wind will be out of the northeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, and there will still be that spotty ice threat. So let's get into it, because the only change that I saw looking at this morning's data was there was a little bit of a delay in some of the arrival time of the first round of showers. But other than that, everything stayed the same, starting and staying as mostly cold rain through the later part of this morning. Lunchtime, radar should be much more active with scattered to widespread cold rain and wintry mix, and this continues into the later part of the afternoon. So pickup looks to be a washout. And even what's important to know, I know a lot of us are probably looking at the morning radar saying, what the heck? You know, they're canceling schools, they're delaying schools. Well, look at pickup time. I mean, those roads are going to have plenty of time to ice over and spot. So I think it was the right call for the Hill Country schools to say, hey, you know what? It's not worth it. This is too big of a risk, especially with some of those more rural roads that will not be treated when we have this kind of weather concern with it being wintry mix further west. But look at this evening around dinner time. Moderate to heavy rain, Austin Metro, eastern counties. I mean, visibility is going to drop significantly with some of those downpours, but everything is still on time to clear out by the middle of tomorrow morning. That being said, rainfall 1 to 2 inches. This is golden rain for us. We need this, and it's nice that most of this does fall as just liquid rain, so it'll soak into the soil and we won't have to worry about major icing issues. That being said, the icing risk is not zero. We still have the potential to see up to about a 1/1500th of an inch, or let's say about 1/10 of an inch of ice possible, especially on those elevated surfaces west of 35. It gets very spotty here in the I-35 area, but you know, on that note, sometimes when we see this kind of fringe event, this borderline event, people think, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to go, you know, my normal speed. Whereas if it was widespread ice, everybody backs off. So don't let your guard down. Don't get that blanket of comfort and safety, knowing that most of this is liquid rain, because there is still going to be some of it wintry mix. For those headed to the Cotton Bowl, this too is still on track to see most of that wintry mix starting to get going later this morning. If you're waiting till after work, look at what 35 looks like. You're going to hit wet weather the entire way up. You'll probably get there. I trust that, but it's going to take several hours to get there. If you can wait until late tomorrow morning, I think you're going to be much happier with yourself. That drive should be much easier. By the way, we're already seeing flight cancellations out of our airport here in Austin getting to Dallas, because that anticipation of that weather being much worse there is still on track too. 2 to 5 inches of snowfall in parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that's of snow. 7-day, mostly rain, side wintry mix all day today, gone by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, I'm thinking 9-10 a.m. We've got mostly to partly sunny skies, good looking weekend to reward ourselves with 50s and 60s. And then as we get into early next week, temperatures in the 50s. And Erica, you know, with the sunshine this weekend, worth reminding people that we want to get the car washed this weekend. Get that brine off your car.